Hello and welcome to the Practical Pisces podcast. I'm Chelsea Harder, your favorite psychic medium, your host through the world of spirituality and all things woo. Here I'm going to share my stories, what I've learned along my path and my experiences, as well as all the different things that come up when you're connecting with spirit. So I'm inviting you to bring your soul to the table and join me. Let's channel. Well, good morning. So today's interesting. Today feels very unplanned because I was sitting in my meditation chair and just letting spirit talk to me. I was like, what's up, everybody? What do I need to know? And they said, this is more than what you need to know. And I was like, all right, spirit. And the message I got was really interesting. They started to say, you all call it retrogrades. We may call it something else. However, the best way to explain it is this. Every time we go through these phases of retrogrades, it is like coming to an intersection on your path. And this intersection has options for you because life is free will and we give you options of what you truly want. These aren't tests. You all may think it's tests, but it's giving you options to see what you're ready for, and what you choose is what you're ready for. And they said the on-ramp at this intersection is everywhere you want to go. However, you have to wait for the light to turn green so that you can go onto this on-ramp, and you have to wait patiently at that red light. And some of you will see a sign that says, no right on red. And this right on red takes you to an off-ramp. And this off-ramp takes you in a circle and takes you in the opposite direction, to which you'll have to go miles in the other direction, go revisit all those lessons, have to take another route to get back on to then get to this point. Can you wait patiently at this intersection, knowing that I'm not going to take that right on red, I'm not going to get in that wreck or have to go in the other direction. I'm actually going to wait for my green light to get on the on-ramp to everything I've been asking for. It felt very lighthearted, but they made it sound so, we can call it test, but it's really not that. You are probably the one testing yourself, not spirit. And actually, this opportunity to see what's possible, to see what not to do, and to look at all these different options and make a choice. Because a choice is an opportunity that is a gift. And so sometimes we feel punished by the energetics of the day-to-day, but really it's giving us an opportunity to choose to do things for our highest and best good. It was just so funny, and I saw that very clearly. And sometimes you just have to wait. And I say wait, and then it's like, well, when and timing and all. It's when it feels the easiest. If you feel sluggish, it's not the time. If you feel exhausted, not the time. If you keep hitting roadblocks with the internet or your technology, it's not the time. It's when things flow effortlessly that you take that leap, that you open that door. It's not when you keep stubbing your toe on the same dresser every day and you're like, I'm gonna just fucking grin and bear it and do that thing I want to get done. It is when it flows effortlessly. Even if it's, I have to get all this done because I don't have enough money in my bank account. I've got all these bills to pay. I need to go push myself to do what, that's not the time either. Acting from scarcity, not it. And so it's when it feels inspired and easy. And those of you that maybe are manifesting, asking for, calling in grace and ease in your path, and then you keep doing things when it's hard, you are not actively choosing the path of ease because it's available to you. That's what the thing I keep hearing. The path of ease is available to you. You just don't allow time for ease. The racing to the finish line, the I have to get things done energy, that's not easy. That's actually really hard, and it doesn't flow. And I think as a Pisces, I'm here to teach you flow in a logical way that makes sense. Hence the practical in that. Okay, so what are my green lights? What are my green flags to continue to move forward? It is when you wake up in the morning and you have every idea and every tool in your hands that's like, oh my gosh, you know what? I could do this, 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 and this. And oh my gosh, it would be so easy. It is like when you're so excited you can't keep the words in. That's part one. It's when you get your computer out and you're trying to like type things up and it's just so effortless. It's like you can't even stop your fingers from moving, the ideas from flowing. But sometimes it's just when all you can do is to keep yourself from doing that thing that feels so easy. And if it doesn't feel that way, it ain't the time. And there's so many people that will say dedication is more important than motivation. And I think it's important to be dedicated. And also, when are you just hustling and forcing yourself versus actually giving yourself rest? It's part of the spiritual path is understanding that every action has a rest period. Every hard effort needs just as much rest. As hard as you initiate is as hard as you set your body to bed, which is not how we were ever taught to function. To be the change you want to see in the world, do it differently. Do life in the way that works for you. At the end of the day, none of it matters other than you continued to keep making it to tomorrow, so you didn't fuck up yesterday bad enough, did you? And I know that sounds maybe dark and morbid, but I just think you survived another day in a world that is so harsh and beautiful, but in a world where it sometimes can feel like everything is out to get you and you made it another day. You get to pat yourself on the back and say, I have another opportunity to change my circumstance and make a difference. And this energy of retrogrades, it can make us feel really stuck in things, but it can really teach us in a very efficient way. I feel like the last few months we learned years of lessons in a short amount of time. Some of this we could have been really stuck on for a while. And there may be some of you that listen to this and you may still be like, damn it, I didn't learn that lesson. You've got some weeks to buckle down and face your truths, discernment, what you need to know. Facing your truths. When it comes to truth, one of my favorite things I ever learned about truth is you can't unsee it. Once you've seen the truth, you cannot unsee it. You can't waver from it without it flashing in front of your eyes, whether that's the truth about someone in your life, whether that's a truth about yourself, your past, whether that's about your job. It can really show up in a lot of places. We can find truth anywhere. And even those goosebumps you get from spirit, that's the vibration of truth going through your system. How do you discern truth? The place that knows truth the most is your body, not your mind, not your crown chakra, not your channel. Your body knows what truth is. That's why when spirit comes through and you have that aha moment and your whole body, it goes goosebumps all up and down and you just got that feeling and you're like, oh my gosh, I felt that. That is so true. That is absolutely right on. And I'm actually feeling goosebumps right now as I say that, which is that made me smile. Spirit's like, you're on the money. Now, okay, what do lies feel like? How do we discern what's truth and what's dishonesty? Dishonesty feels like nausea. Now, this isn't to say morning sickness or times when you're sick or hungover or whatever. This is when someone says something and it literally puts a pit in your stomach, or that you can just feel the energy shift and it feels like time pauses and your shoulders get heavy and you feel like it's hard for you to even move a little bit. It's like your system goes whoa, 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 and slows down. It can be very minute, but once you realize what that feeling is the first time, all of a sudden it keeps getting louder and louder. Just like when you practice your muscle for channeling, or you practice your muscle with your intuition and tuning into that vibration of truth, the more you allow yourself to discern and feel what the vibration of dishonesty feels like, the clearer it will be when it comes up. And I was snapping my fingers when I said that, because I think for myself, I've really been going through that and really having to say the things that maybe not everybody wants to hear, because not everybody wants to face the lies, the dishonesty, the heaviness all the time. And we do want to focus on the positive. And I think some of this heaviness we've had to face has been coming up a lot. And being the facilitator of that message can be really hard. But knowing what doesn't feel right, and it's like the cleaner your body is. I don't know why that's coming up. Okay. The cleaner and most healthy way you can keep your body in a space that also isn't harmful to your mental health is also going to help you more clearly discern what is and isn't for you. And that's not to say there's any perfect one way to do it. Some people, they're like, I'm going to be no refined sugar. I'm going to be vegan. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. You have to ask your system what it wants, because for each person, it's going to look really different. You might be like, man, I'm only doing raw milk and my own homegrown eggs, and that might be your path. And some people are choosing without animal products. Some people are doing this and doing that. You have to sit with yourself and say, within reason, and the circumstance I have for myself at this time, how can I take care of my temple that is best for me, that one, doesn't create disordered eating, two, doesn't create fear or shame, and that makes you feel enlightened and the best about yourself? Because I've been seeing a lot of intuitives out there really getting intense about maintaining the vessel. And there is a level of me that's going to come from, we'll do the best we can with the tools we have. Like, at the end of the day, you're going to do the best you can, but I'm not going to encourage anybody to sacrifice their mental health and become the magnifying glass over everything that goes in their body and spend every waking moment afraid of these cancer-causing ingredients that they keep finding everywhere, and they can't afford the fucking Whole Foods grocery moment. Like, I get it. And so I think there's a level of do the best you can with what you have, because your intention is what matters. And yeah, maybe fast food isn't it. So how can you cook food at home and feel nourished and safe in what you're eating? Well, in Virgo season really is a time to look at health. And why I say that is why that's coming up. And a lot of this is being brought up over the next few days, because there's a lot of big emotions around truth, dishonesty, and cleaning out the temple is going to help you tap into that, because there's a lot of what I feel is anger when I feel into what are these emotions that are going to come up during this Pisces moon, which Pisces moon is really about feeling your feelings. And I think some of the most postponed emotions are anger. And I think it's really coming into our field because we're finally seeing the truth of where we've been wounded, and actually getting to say, fuck off. That wasn't okay. And I didn't have the ferocity in that moment of being wounded to stand up, whatever that may be for you. I want to pull a card. What do we need to know? Whoa! Okay. The message says the moon's wisdom, take the lead. This message says this. Sometimes you just need to stand up for yourself, and this is one of those times. The sad truth is, in your current situation, if you continue to act like an ingenuine or someone who feels less than, there is a certain people who exploit their power or authority over you. They do this because they have their own insecurities and they're trying to make themselves feel more powerful. So what to do? You need to take the lead here to show the world that you're in control of yourself, and whatever is happening around you, step up and take authority. Be the boss. What do you need to do to turn the situation around in your favor? Do that. If you feel there's nothing you can do, then you're not trying hard enough. If you can't take practical steps, work on the situation energetically instead. Do this via meditating and see what your higher self tells you. You're wiser than you know. Stop putting yourself down and make a wise choice. Choices, 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 choices. Now, I want to say this. I think that God and Spirit are the only leaders that matter. And that the truest leaders in our world are just channels for Spirit. They're the ones that are just bringing that message forward. And it's not their job to carry the responsibility of the message. And so world leaders, government, they are not leading us in a way that is actually needed. They are leading this like a business. Now, you can be a boss, you can be a CEO, you can be in charge, but true leadership comes from a place of divinity, in my humble opinion. To allow that to come through is how you can support your community and supporting Spirit to lead us into the light where we're wanting to go. And I also hear, you do not deserve to be treated as less than. Your truth is also valuable. Your truth is important. If someone tries to correct your truth, that's a no. That's an immediate no. Yours is valid. And I would encourage you to sit with your truth. I would encourage you to see if there is any shadow of a doubt that you may need clarity in your truth, or if there's anything that's coming up saying, I could look at that and see where I made mistakes. And also, there are no absolutes. It's not always your fault. This is to my people pleasers out there. It's not always your fault. I want to pull another card. Woo! Okay. All right. This one says higher power. All right. Spirit coming in loud today. Are we mad? No, we are not. And I flipped right to it. Whatever you're facing, you are being brought healing, grace, and blessings. You are facing a soul challenge right now. You need to move through it to know how strong you really are. Mere mortals often give up when facing tough challenges, but if you're reading this, you're not a mere mortal. You know that you're connected to a higher power. Tap into that power that is wise and wants to guide you. Connect by getting out in nature, under the moon, or whatever feels right to you. That's entirely up to you how you want to do it. But know that you are ready to connect to the divine. Ask for help. Don't go it alone. And it's so easy for us to act from our ego and think we can solve our issues. However, there are higher powers just waiting for us to ask for help. What that feels like is, I feel like I've said recently, if you're not sure what to do, ask for a sign. I know that sounds, I don't know why I feel like so many of us just stopped asking for signs. They stopped asking something of Spirit. And I hear so often, especially in mediumship, you can ask me for help. And sometimes I think we may feel, well, they can't really help us. And that's not true. They can send us love when we need it. And having that little bit of love may give us the strength to do the next thing. Sometimes we just need clarity. Hey, what's best for my highest and best good? Help me see that with a sign today. And you can get real specific. Spirit wants to support you. Period. End. Your people in Spirit, your team, they have been looking out for you and protecting you. That was something I also sat with recently. How often has my path been protected? And when I've let certain people into my sphere, has a lot more fear come in that is not mine to carry? Has their situation then brought it into my field when actually my own environment is solid? And I want you to look at that. Is someone else's life situation, someone that's close to you, bringing you anxiety, bringing you fear, and freaking you the fuck out, and you're like, this isn't mine, and actually my life is calm, you are a mirror of the top 5 people you spend time with. It's time to clean house if you're not happy, because sometimes it's not your fault. And I feel like today is that message of, it's time to press edit. If we can do anything with Virgo season, Mercury retrograde, it's doing some editing in our lives. And that can be really hard to release some of these people, but it's about damn time. Okay, final card. What you got, Spirit? After just talking about protection, it says, protection. You are more protected than you realize. I think sometimes we need that reminder that we really do have divine protection, and we can call it in at any time. That your people in spirit, they are stronger than anything on this earth that would dissuade you from your path, that would create speed bumps in your path. And sometimes, yeah, they may create some speed bumps for you to look at things, but they're not trying to hurt you. And there's a big reminder, you are protected. And with that, I'm going to bring today to a close. You are divinely protected. Wait for the green light. Wait for things to be easy. It's okay to wait. One of my favorite phrases is this: life is short and life is long. It's short enough that you shouldn't waste a second, and long enough for you to change your mind. And wait. And with that, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Are you ready to dig deeper and connect even more to spirit? Then book a session with Chelsea at thepracticalpisces.com.